Many adults over 50 quietly accept tingling or numbness in their hands or feet as a normal part of aging, assuming it is harmless and temporary. Yet, growing neurological research shows that these sensations often reflect early nerve dysfunction, a stage where damage is still silent but progression is already underway. In large population studies, sensory nerve impairment has been strongly linked with declining balance, slower walking speed, and higher fall risk long before obvious disability appears. What makes this more concerning is that these warning signs are frequently dismissed, even in routine checkups, allowing a preventable decline to advance unnoticed. In this video, I will explain why just two specific warning sensations deserve immediate attention in seniors over 50 and why overlooking them can quietly accelerate loss of independence. I will also reveal two key subjects discussed in this video that do more than calm nerve signals. They support stability, confidence, and long-term mobility when addressed at the right time. Most importantly, I will uncover a critical connection that many people, and even some professionals, fail to consider until movement becomes limited. Understanding why these sensations appear is essential because nerve problems rarely begin where symptoms are felt. In adults over 50, nerve signaling often weakens due to overlooked physiological factors that interfere with repair, insulation, and signal transmission. Many seniors blame posture, cold weather, or circulation alone, yet large clinical reviews show that sensory nerve decline is frequently driven by internal deficiencies and metabolic strain that accumulate gradually over time. These underlying causes affect how nerves communicate with muscles, how the brain interprets sensation, and how stable movement remains during daily activities. When the root cause is ignored, symptoms tend to progress from mild tingling to reduced awareness of foot position and hand sensation, increasing the likelihood of imbalance and injury. Addressing the true causes early can interrupt this chain reaction before mobility is compromised, which is why recognizing these warning signs is not optional, it is protective. With that foundation clear, let's now examine the two specific warning sensations and the critical supportive factor that determines whether nerve function stabilizes or continues to decline. First, reduced vibration sense in feet. Reduced vibration sense in feet. When the nerves responsible for detecting vibration begin to deteriorate, the body loses a critical feedback system that governs balance and spatial awareness, often years before any pain or weakness becomes noticeable. This sensory decline is not merely about feeling less. It directly undermines the neurological pathways that coordinate muscle response during movement, making even familiar terrain treacherous. Neurological assessments conducted at Johns Hopkins University have documented that diminished vibration perception in the lower extremities correlates with a threefold increase in fall risk among adults over 50, as the brain receives incomplete information about foot placement and ground contact. The mechanism behind this involves progressive demyelination of peripheral sensory fibers, particularly those transmitting proprioceptive signals from the feet to the spinal cord and brain. When these fibers fail, the central nervous system struggles to execute the rapid, micro-adjustments required for stable walking, especially on uneven surfaces or in low-light conditions. Clinical guidelines from the American Academy of Neurology recommend quantitative sensory testing for vibration thresholds in seniors experiencing unexplained balance issues, as early detection allows for targeted nutritional and therapeutic interventions before irreversible motor impairments develop. This specific symptom is most critical for seniors with pre-existing metabolic conditions or those taking medications that affect nerve function, yet the next warning sign targets an even broader population experiencing nocturnal disruptions that silently erode nerve integrity. Second, persistent nighttime hand tingling. The relentless tingling in the hands during sleep hours represents more than a temporary annoyance. It signals active nerve compression and metabolic stress that progressively damages the myelin sheath protecting nerve fibers. University of Michigan research teams have identified that nocturnal paresthesia in the hands often reflects systemic nerve vulnerability rather than isolated positional pressure, as healthy nerves typically tolerate overnight compression without persistent symptoms. During sleep, when metabolic repair processes should be restoring neural tissues, compromised nerves instead experience heightened sensitivity to even mild pressure, triggering the characteristic pins and needles sensation that disrupts rest cycles. The underlying pathology involves insufficient delivery of essential cofactors required for myelin maintenance, leaving nerve axons exposed to oxidative damage and inflammatory mediators that accumulate overnight. Neurologists at Mayo Clinic emphasize that this symptom warrants immediate nutritional assessment, as it frequently precedes more severe manifestations of peripheral neuropathy, including grip weakness and fine motor control deterioration. The progression follows a predictable trajectory. Initial nighttime tingling evolves into daytime numbness, then compromises dexterity for tasks requiring precision, buttoning shirts, writing, handling utensils, ultimately threatening independence in daily activities. This particular warning sign disproportionately affects women over 55 and individuals with inflammatory conditions, but there exists a singular nutritional intervention that addresses the root metabolic deficiency driving nerve degeneration across all demographics. The one vitamin seniors need to prevent tingling, vitamin B6. Have you ever wondered why some seniors maintain sharp sensory function into their 80s while others experience progressive numbness in their 50s, despite similar activity levels and overall health status? Vitamin B6, scientifically known as pyridoxine, functions as an indispensable cofactor in the synthesis of myelin, the protective insulation surrounding nerve fibers and neurotransmitters that facilitates signal transmission between peripheral nerves and the central nervous system. Research published by the National Institutes of Health demonstrates that even marginal B6 deficiency impairs homocysteine metabolism, allowing this toxic amino acid to accumulate and directly damage vascular endothelium, supplying peripheral nerves, thereby starving them of oxygen and nutrients. The Institute of Medicine recommends a daily intake of 1.7 milligrams for men over 50 and 1.5 milligrams for women in the same age bracket. Yet national dietary surveys consistently reveal that up to 28% of seniors consume inadequate amounts, particularly those relying on processed foods or restrictive diets. Clinical trials conducted at Tufts University have shown that supplementation with 10 to 25 milligrams daily under medical supervision can restore nerve conduction velocity and reduce paresthesia symptoms within 8 to 12 weeks in individuals with documented deficiency. The mechanism extends beyond simple replenishment. B6 actively participates in the enzymatic reactions that regenerate damaged myelin sheaths and neutralize inflammatory compounds accumulating in nerve tissues. Seniors experiencing persistent tingling should incorporate B6-rich foods such as chickpeas, 0.55 milligrams per cup, wild-caught salmon, 0.94 milligrams per 4-ounce serving, and fortified cereals, while monitoring intake to avoid exceeding 100 milligrams daily from supplements, as prolonged excessive consumption can paradoxically cause sensory neuropathy. This vitamin proves especially critical for individuals managing diabetes, autoimmune conditions, or taking medications like diuretics that deplete B6 stores, offering a targeted approach to preserving nerve function and mobility as the body ages. If you're new to HealthWaver and would love to join our community where we share tailored health tips for seniors just like you, completely free, please subscribe now. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. How old are you, and how has your health been lately? Your insights help us create even more relevant content for our community. Thanks for watching.